them with, so they were donated to us. Occasionally, we'd get something that didn't have a tear in the seam or a stain that couldn't be scrubbed out. In such conditions, you'd think we might bond over our shared misery, form a sisterhood of sorts, provide comfort for those who needed it. And I suppose some of us did. A 12-year-old named Gina became a friend. She was a scrawny girl with stringy hair from Monk's Corner, whose parents died in a car accident when she was 6, and staying with a babysitter so her folks could go to a movie, a date from which they never returned. Gina went to live briefly with her grandfather, but when he fell ill, there was nobody else to take her in. She was sweet, and we tried our best to watch out for one another. A 14-year-old boy named Gabriel completed our little trio of misfits. He'd only been at the group home for a little under a year when I arrived, and to me, he had the saddest story of all. He came from a prominent family in Spartanburg, where his dad was a famous football coach and his mom was active in the community and church. He had a big brother, a football star naturally, and a little sister. On his 14th birthday, he summoned up the courage to come out to his parents. It was a tear-filled confession, filled with apologies to his folks, but he was certain of it, of who he was, and he hoped they'd understand. His father laughed at him, as if his son had told them an uproariously funny joke. When Gabriel insisted that he was serious, his father told him that he must be confused, that he was too young to know what he wanted anyway. He'd made some remark that once his boy got to high school and saw all those pretty cheerleaders, Gabriel wouldn't feel gay anymore. When Gabriel corrected his father and said he was who he was and he was proud of it, his father backhanded him off his chair and to the floor, splitting his lip. Gabriel looked to his mother for support and understanding, but he found only cool indifference. "Well, this just won't do," she said. Gabriel relayed this story to Gina and me one night while we sat on the back porch after dinner, seeking some sort of breeze to relieve us from the stifling heat inside the house, where the air conditioning rarely worked properly. After a tumultuous week during which Gabriel was treated more and more like an inconvenience rather than a loved member of the family, his father had told him to pack a suitcase. One suitcase, from 14 years' worth of Christmases, birthdays, new school clothes every August, and all the decorations with which he'd appointed his bedroom. It wasn't until the car, driven by his father, passed Columbia and merged onto I-26, that Gabriel got an answer to his persistent question, "Where are we going?" His mother hadn't bothered to say goodbye, and his brother wasn't home, but his little sister clutched Gabriel's leg and wept when he tried to get in the car. She seemed to sense something was amiss.
"You're going to your new home. I'm not raising a queer. There's no room in our family for that."
"What are you? I don't understand," Gabriel stammered.
"Everybody thinks you're going away to boarding school. It's all arranged. You can't throw or catch or run very fast, so nobody back home is going to miss you anyway."
Of course. If he wasn't going to be a football star, what good was he?
"If you ever decide you like girls, maybe things can be different. You just about killed your mama, you know. What would the ladies at church say? You're so incredibly selfish,"
his father said, not having the courage to look at his son. Gabriel was dropped off at our group home without a goodbye from his father, who walked in, signed some paperwork, got back in his car and drove home. Gabriel wept for 3 days and couldn't keep down a bite of food for the entire first week, although you didn't need a traumatic event to struggle with the food we ate. Dropping your no longer wanted gay teenage son off at a group home was apparently as easy as taking your barking dog to the pound. At least if you helmed a high school football powerhouse that regularly supplied talent to Clemson and the University of South Carolina and had money and connections to take care of things. And yet, I'd never met a sweeter soul than Gabriel Joyner. Gabriel, Gina, and I hung out together as much as we could, and while most of the other kids were at least agreeable, there was a group, led by Marla Muchow, who seemed determined to make life